follow Coach with a handful of players. First question, let's go to Steve Sipple, Journal Star.
Coach, with a lot on the line, your senior day, maybe playing for a bowl, seemed like the team came out pretty flat. Is there any explanation? I mean, what did you see?
Yeah, Siv, I don't think we were flat. I thought the guys were ready to play. We just didn't execute very well, and I thought we played well enough defensively to win the game. We didn't execute very well on offense. Certainly didn't catch any breaks, but we got to play better than that. I give them credit. That's a team you have to get ahead of, and you're in control of the game, and we came out right away and made a mistake on the first play of the game again. And just too many mistakes and bad things happening to overcome.
Caleb Henry, KLIN.
Coach, what was the offensive game plan coming into this one, knowing how many yards a rush Minnesota was giving up this season?
I don't even really understand that question. Every week we look at whatever plays we think give us the best chance to move the ball. I think the guys were in good situations. At times we operated well. At other times we just didn't execute very well. We got to make sure we play better than that, coach better than that.
Sean Callahan.
Hey, Coach, you guys went 0 for 8 on your final third down plays to close the game. I mean, what do you think the key issues? Why were you guys struggling? Adrian was missing wide open guys down the field. Sacks were being given up. I mean, what were you seeing out there? Why you guys were struggling on those key third down plays?
You know, I hate to even say this. We had our best week of practice offensively maybe since I've been in Nebraska. So I expected us to come out and play. We completed everything in practice. We blocked well. But you're right. We whiffed on a few blocks early on. We put a ball on the ground. We threw an interception. We shanked a punt. We missed some wide open guys. We gave up some sacks. And I think maybe a little bit is once you get behind in the game and things start rolling the wrong way with a young team. I think they started pressing just a little bit to try to get back in the game. But that being said, they responded after we spotted them 10 points at the beginning of the game and got the lead, and we just didn't execute very well.
Sam McEwen.
Scott, with 37 seconds left in the third quarter, you had an opportunity to run out the clock and then run those very same pass plays in the fourth quarter with the wind. Why did you choose to call them against the wind instead of just running out the clock and starting the fourth quarter with those plays?
Yeah, we talked about that on the headset, Sam, and that situation in the game. But first of all, it wasn't that windy on the field. We talked about it at the beginning of the third quarter, and we didn't think the wind was really a factor in the passing game. In fact, we overthrew a couple with the wind, so we felt good about just calling our best stuff. And we got down there in the third quarter and busted on one of our plays up front and on a 2nd and 5, and got a ball tipped on third. And hindsight, you maybe just run it a couple times, and then we missed a field goal. Again, just a lot of things didn't go well for us today, and we got to play better.
You obviously felt pretty good about your passing game today. I think you called 31 passes for 31 passes. First blush, what do you think the biggest issue was as to why it didn't come together?
Not all those were pass calls. Some of them are RPOs. Nickel sticks his nose in too far, and we throw it outside. And I thought we handled those well. We hit all those passes in practice all week. We didn't hit them today for whatever reason. I thought we ran it well at times, but it's just not consistent enough yet. Our young players especially got to get a little more consistent. We got to be able to rely on that a little more. One time on first down we call a play and it'll crease for 9. The next time we call it, it's 2nd and 11. And consistency's got to get a lot better.
Mitch Sherman.
Hey, Scott, I know Connor Culp has been really reliable for you all season. After his miss early in the second half, offensively, not a lot came together for 2-3 drives after that. Did that moment take something out of your offensive guys? It was a chance to tie the game. What did you see momentum-wise from your team in the wake of him missing that field goal?
Maybe it took the wind out of our sails. I don't know. It would have been nice to be tied right there. The way the game unfolded, probably we should have been ahead at that point if a lot of those things hadn't gone the way they went. But we got to be able to respond. We had them in some good stuff at times. They did a good job coaching at times. That's the X's and O's battle is going to kind of come and go. Sometimes they're going to be in the right call. One of the drives, I think if we had a chance to call it over, we would have called a different play. I think we threw it on first and second down and put ourselves in a 3rd and 10. But we just got to be more consistent with everything we do so we can hang our hat on stuff a little more.
Was Adrian limited at all after? I know he came out and had his arm looked at, and he was running hard in the second half. Was he limited at all in what you could do with him in the pass game?
No. He's been dealing with what happened to him last week all week, but threw great in practice all week. So I don't know if that was a factor or not.
Brian Christopherson.
Hey, Scott, how discouraging was that last Minnesota drive of the first half? And what feedback did you get on the field about the Taylor Britt targeting where they overturned it?
I don't get much feedback on those things. I don't really know. I haven't even seen it. All I saw was on the big screen. It just seems like those things work against us quite a bit for some reason. Just that play alone, and we're probably going to go in at halftime ahead, and it's probably a different second half. But those are the breaks in football, and just hope some of them go our way.
The energy you saw from your team when you went to the locker room, even though they were behind after that, what were you feeling at that point about how you were going to respond?
Yeah, the energy's been great all week. The leadership's been good all week. Practice was really good all week, and that was my message for the team is the way they've approached the last 3 weeks is the way they need to approach every practice, every game from here on. And the more often they do that, the better chance we have of being more consistent and making all the plays. But we need to practice like that all the time, and it's disappointing. I'm hurting for the kids. I love the team. They stuck it out through a lot of rough stuff this year with everything going on. It's just been a crazy year, and I love these kids for the fight they have in them. And I thought the energy and the preparation were good. We just didn't play very well.
Parker Gabriel.
Hey, Scott, that's 2 straight home games where the first play of the game's been a simple play, and it's gone really wrong. I mean, how frustrating is that, I guess, as a play caller? And can you just describe how bad of a spot that puts you in right from the first play of the game?
Yeah, you just can't start games that way. We try to execute something simple that we think is going to get yards for us, positive yards for us on first down, and you complete it 40 times in practice all week, and it's a little off, and it's a horrible way to start the game.
And then is Dedrick Mills at this point, is he capable of giving you 20 or more carries, or is he still a little bit limited as he gets back into work?
I think he's close to full strength. I'm not sure we'd want to leave him in there the whole game, but I think he's close.
Andy Kendi, KTV.
Hey, Scott, you kind of touched on it earlier, but what do you say to the team after having such a good week of practice moving forward? You still got a game coming up next week. How do you keep these kids in it?
Kids will stay in it. This team's together. They care about each other. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about getting wins at this point. I love how mentality has changed, how the kids are caring about each other. I love the feel around the building. It's the best it's been. But you got to stack those things on top of each other and practices on top of each other. And even when things are going well, sometimes the breaks don't go your way and you don't play well. And the more work we can get, the more practice we can get, the more confidence they can get, the more consistency we'll get. And I really don't know what else to say about it other than that. I thought the preparation was great, and we just didn't play very well on offense, especially.
Couple more quick ones for Coach. Back to Sam McEwen.
Is Pristup injured, out?
Not available, out, yeah.
My other really quick question is: Do you feel like there's, a feeling of wanting to do something different with the pass game that you're just not allowed to do right now because of whatever reason? Is there some piece of it that you feel like is missing, especially from the downfield aspect?
No, I loved our game plan going in, and I thought we had some guys open. Wanda was open on one, and we missed him, and we had a corner route open and missed it. Had some other guys open on a couple others and got beat in protection, and that's where it's just got to be consistency, Sam. You got to hit the majority of them. You got to protect the majority of the time, and it's not an excuse. It's not meant to be an excuse, but we're still playing a lot of young guys, and as they grow, they're going to win more often than they lose, and you can't call however many pass plays we called and miss 5 and get sacked, get beat in protection 2 or 3 times, and throw an interception. Those mistakes get you beat in this league.
All right, last one for Coach. We'll go back to Steve Sipple.
All that said about the offense and the youth, did you think at this point, 7 games in, that offense would be farther along and we wouldn't be having this sort of conversation?
Yeah, I thought we played well last week offensively. This week at times we looked really good. It's hard to get a rhythm in that game too, Sip. When you get behind and they're taking as much time off the clock as they possibly can. Seemed like we had a media timeout before every offensive drive. It just never felt like we got clicking. But it's hard to talk about. I see it coming in practice. I see how well we're executing in practice. It didn't show up on the field today often enough, and too many mistakes for us to overcome. But I got confidence in these guys.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll have players here shortly, guys. Okay, we've got Dicaprio Bootle here. Will be the first player, and then followed by JoJo Domann, and then we'll get a guy or two from the offensive side. So, Andrew Ward, KLKN. Go ahead for Dicaprio.
Hey, DiCaprio, just wanted to ask you about that moment you had with some of the other seniors there at the end of the game. What were some of the emotions going through your head?
It was extremely emotional for me. I love each and every last one of those guys. I love just about everybody that's came through this building since I've been here, came and gone. And, I was just kind of thinking of all my memories here, just being in Memorial Stadium, all the good times, the hard times. So there's just a whole lot going through my head, but, more love than anything else, and just feeling the love, and just knowing that, there was just a lot of love around me between players, coaches, faculty, staff, everybody.
Evan Bland, World Herald.
DiCaprio, could you maybe just, as you look at that last drive of the first half and how they got that touchdown, what were a couple maybe sequences you guys would like to have back, and how did that maybe, the fact that you guys were playing from behind, how did that affect how the second half played out too?
Ultimately, we just want to put ourselves in better situations. I don't feel like we played horrible today. A couple things that we would like to have back, but in life you don't get a rewind button. So we just got to take what we got and learn from it.
Parker Gabriel, Journal Star.
DiCaprio, what did you say to Cam, if anything, on the sideline after that? You can tell how much it hurts him to not be able to play in the second half there.
Oh yeah, definitely. We weren't expecting it, and when it happened, I just went over to him, just let him know that we got his back no matter what, and that's forever and that's always. So, a guy like him who put so much into the game, is so passionate about the game, that I'm sure that hurts him to have the game taken away from him. But we just let him know, keep his head up, and he'll be back.
Sean Callahan.
Hey, Decap, Minnesota really slowed that game down. What were they doing with their offense that kind of kept you guys off balance, as far as preventing you from forcing some 3-and-outs in this game?
They just tried to bleed the clock. They did a good job of checking with their coaches, getting into the plays that they wanted, and just trying to execute them against us. At the end of the day, we just got to be better as a defense, and I know we will be better going forward. Like I said earlier, I don't feel like we played horrible, but some things just need to be cleaned up.
We got two more here for Decap. Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
Hey, DiCaprio, it's been a long fall. You guys are now 8 weeks in. These are the 8 weeks that you saw laid out for you on the schedule. How much do you feel like is left for you guys to give with another week, potentially another opponent next week?
As long as it's still football out there, the guys down in that locker room, the coaches upstairs, we're gonna dial in and we're gonna get after it. So, no matter who the opponent is, we're gonna attack it the same way each week, and just work on getting better, just being better versions of ourselves from the week before. And that's just no matter who we have to face. So, everybody down there just ready for the next challenge ahead.
Finish up for DiCaprio with Sam McEwen, Omaha World Herald.
Hey, DiCaprio, what did you see and what happened on the last drive of the game? You guys had a chance to get them off the field and weren't able to do it. Why not?
Yeah, like I said, some things we want to fix. We did have a chance to get them off the field, and ultimately we didn't. That falls in our hands, and we have to take accountability for that, and got to go and watch that film and watch where we can get better, and just emulate those situations in practice, and just go ahead and just make ourselves better overall.
All right, thank you, Decap. We'll have JoJo Domann here in just a moment.
Thank you.
All right, we will continue with players with JoJo Domann. First question, WWT Joe Nugent.
JoJo, coach said you guys had a real good week of practice, and the last two games that led to pretty good performances on the field. It did not this time. What was different? Why don't you think that happened?
We just got to find ways to win. You know, when your back's against the wall and things don't go your way, you got to find ways to win. That's part of creating a winning culture and just being accustomed to winning and finding ways to win. So that's what I'd say to that.
Omaha World Herald, Sam McEwen.
Hey, JoJo, there was a drive right before the halftime when you guys gave up the long run, and then there was dropped interception, and then there was a targeting call, and then they scored a touchdown. How much did that drive just kind of set you guys back?
Yeah, it definitely influenced the game. I mean, we were trying to get off the field, get our offense the ball, and then they bust one on the first play. And then with Cam, losing a great player like Cam and missing out on that interception, it's just a tale of the game, right? Like, just missed opportunities, got to find ways to win in every aspect of the game, at every point in the game.
Did they, on that final drive of the game, what were they doing? Because they had more success on that final drive than they did really in any of the second half. What did they do differently, and why were you guys struggling to stop them?
I think it was on us. I think we set the front the wrong way on the big run. And just, you know, we're just trying to make a play, trying to get the ball back, high intensity. They're calling their best plays. We're trying to play sound in every facet, all three levels. It's tough.
Andrew Ward, KLKN.
Hey, JoJo, I asked Decap about this, but just what was that last little moment you guys had with the other seniors there in the end zone following the game? What were some of the emotions going on?
Yeah, we're disappointed in the result today. But our time here at Nebraska hasn't been about winning and losing. The adversity that we faced, this senior class and the guys that were able to make it through it, to be here today, that's what I'm proud of, and the brotherhood that we formed, and the men we've become in the process. That's what it's about, and we were just sharing that moment last time in Memorial. It was special.
Kevin Suits.
JoJo, can you talk us through that pass breakup you had? It seemed like you got beat initially when the ball was thrown downfield. Did you know that you were going to be able to knock the ball out of his hands, and just kind of walk us through what happened there on that play?
Yeah, I'm in zero coverage on that post, and I was playing catch technique. I was playing the sticks, so I did get beat with speed, and then I did see the ball thrown out of the corner of my eye, and those 3 seconds were just bliss. It was just, find a way to knock this ball out. And thank the good Lord that he didn't catch it.
Brian Christopherson.
Hey JoJo, how do you process this day? Because it's not the normal senior day where maybe some guys will come back next year. I don't know if you've decided what you want to do. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But how do you take it all in? Just kind of the oddness of this whole day and everything around it.
Yeah, you just try to capitalize on every time you get to step out on that field, and the fact that it could potentially be the last one. It didn't really hit me before the game, but definitely after the game started, and then especially at the end of the game, it really started to sit in. And guys have decisions to make. They got to do what's best for their future. But for all intent and purposes, that was our last game, and it stings.
Andy Kendi, KETV.
Hey, JoJo, they dominated time of possession, which is kind of their mojo. How frustrating is it as a defense to just see them control the clock like that? You're out there for almost 35 minutes today.
Yeah, we have to get off on third down, so we have to hold up our end of the bargain and get off the field, create 3 and outs, create turnovers, which we didn't today. And then just obviously our offense just sustaining longer drives and moving the chains. That's just the game of football. But when you're stuck out there on defense, like we like that chip on our shoulder. Like we understood as the game went on that we dictate the result of this game, because things weren't really going our way on the other side of the ball. So we had to create a turnover and we had to get off the field, and we didn't do either of those.
We'll finish up with JoJo, Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
Hey, JoJo, following up on your comments about potentially this being the last game. And I don't know if you can process this right now when you're still so close to it, but the stadium like it is today, empty, just your parents there, guys' parents there, senior day. I mean, do you want to remember the stadium like this, or do you feel like, when you look back on your time, it's only going to be those, the 90,000 people there? How will an empty stadium like this, do you think, fit into your memories of your career?
Really just emphasizes like who's been in our corner the whole time, right? Like we love playing for Big Red Nation, and we love playing in front of 90,000, but at the end of the day, like our families and our close friends are what help us like get to where we're at today and who we really play for. So I think it's a little ironic, but it is what it is, and it's a game, and we played the game, and it's a beautiful game. So it's nice to have our family in the stands, even though we are missing out on the energy and the rest of the fan base that we cherish and that we enjoy.
All right. Thank you, JoJo. We'll have another player or two here in a few minutes. Okay, flip over to the offense here. Adrian Martinez is here. And if you guys want to let me know questions. Sean Callahan.
Adrian, first play of the game, you guys get the fumble, kind of reminded us of the Illinois game. I mean, did that really set the tone? And why did you guys not really find a rhythm as an offense today?
I wouldn't blame it on that play specifically, or really even put too much significance on that play as far as setting the tone for the game. But I feel like similarly in other drives, we would mess up one play, mess up one thing here or there, and attention to detail, and that play is that's on me. And yeah.
Brian Christopherson.
Hey, Adrian, how do you feel you played today, specifically throwing the ball? And was the wind a factor down there, or was it not so much?
I would say I definitely did not play my best game. I need to be more efficient and effective, and I missed on a few throws that I'd love to have back that I think could have been big plays. And I'll have to go back on film and look over those and see where I can improve. Wind is a factor in Nebraska always, but I'm definitely not blaming the wind today in my passing success.
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
Hey, Adrian, wanted to ask you about a sequence in the second half after the missed field goal. It seems that you guys had an opportunity, had some things going there, a chance to tie the game right off the bat in the third quarter. And when it didn't happen, there were 3 drives after that where nothing really seemed to work for you guys in the running or passing game. What was your analysis on the reason that it took you a while to get back on track after that missed field?
Right now, I really can't point to anything besides us as players needing to make things work a little bit more. I'd say I made a few mistakes. Some other guys made mistakes. Just all 11 guys as one unit executing and being detailed. And I think a couple times we got a little unlucky and also just weren't detailed enough in that. And that's Big Ten football, and that's on us.
What do you think coming out of this that you guys have left to give with another game? Is there a lot of energy still out there for you guys to?
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. This team's been hungry since the off season, and I know there's plenty of guys who want to go play. Obviously, we're expecting to play a game next week. We don't know who, or at least I don't right now. But I know our guys will be ready.
Parker Gabriel, Journal-Star.
Hey, Adrian, as a captain, I mean, what do you say to the guys? I know it's a situation you've been in more than you'd like, where you've come out of a game feeling like you missed an opportunity. But what do you say to the guys in the locker room, or at least on the offense?
It's tough. I would say we missed our opportunities, and we could have played a lot better, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We have to be better, and it starts with me there, and I'll take full responsibility for not executing at the highest of levels that I know I'm capable of and that my teammates expect of me. So I have to own that, and again, we're going to look back at the film and know the few plays that we missed on, and have to take advantage of those things. Yeah.
And one more, if I could. That Scott said, that the practice was really good this week, and that the execution of the passing game was really good in practice. When it doesn't translate to a game, is it mystifying? Is it frustrating? Like, what is going through your mind? I know you're just trying to move on to the next play, but what goes through your mind when it doesn't look on the field on Saturday like it did over the course of the week in practice?
Yeah, obviously it's frustrating, and my mindset in the game is, got to move on to the next play and play within that. But yeah, and that's football sometimes. You can't always expect it to be exactly how it was in practice. That's the game. But again, this week I agree with Coach in thinking that we had a good week of practice, and I've got to hit on more of those throws, and that's on me.
Sam McEwen, Omaha World Herald.
Adrian, I understand that the wind didn't affect your passing, but was there a difference in the direction? Like if you were going toward the north end zone versus the south end zone, was there a wind effect?
Honestly, it did not cross my mind during that game. I obviously, I would know which direction the wind was blowing, but it wasn't something I'd think about wind throwing or on a drive in the game.
Do you get the sense that there's things about your passing game that are just still to be developed? In other words, things that you guys would like to do, but just aren't really able to do yet.
I would say there's things that we need to execute better for sure. And that's a process. And I think all our guys know that. I know that. We had some really good play calls today, and I have to execute better. I think our receivers are really coming along. Tight ends are very solid. Again, I have to take responsibility there, and that's something we're going to get better at. And I have confidence in our passing game moving forward.
Okay, and we'll looks like we'll finish up here with Adrian with Evan Bland, World Herald.
Hey, Adrian, Minnesota had that go-ahead touchdown drive there late in the second quarter. How much do you think that affected how you guys went about your business in the second half? I guess, in other words, as an offense, does it matter whether you're behind and how you go about your play calls and attacking?
In this given game, I would say no, that didn't really affect us. We knew regardless of the score, we were going to have to come out and be ready to go. And I think that's